It's the year 1896, and we find ourselves in Santa Cruz. Addie and her parents are out to the carnival held at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. It's her birthday, so her father is trying to win everything for her. Her parents momentarily split up, her mother heading towards the bathroom, and her father engrossed in a game, leaving Addie to explore on her own. Curiosity getting the best of her, Addie goes on her own mini-adventure. She passes by a man with a Jeremiah 11:11 placard and later strolls towards the beach adjacent to the carnival. She goes into a whimsical funhouse all alone. As she enters, the lights flicker, and without warning, darkness envelops the room. Lost in the darkness, Addie finds herself in a maze of mirrors, a house of reflections. Every step she takes feels uncertain, but the dim light glimmering from a corner offers a beacon of hope. Suddenly, Addie catches a glimpse of someone in the mirror, but it's not her reflection. It's another girl who looks identical to her doppelganger. In the present day, a family of 4 embarks on a road trip to Santa Cruz. Leading the way is Addie, now a grown woman and a mother to her 2 children, Zora and Jason. After a long and eventful journey, they finally reach their destination, Addie's childhood home. As the family gathers for lunch, Addie's husband, Gabe Wilson, eagerly suggests a visit to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. However, deep within Addie's heart lingers a haunting memory from her past. An unforgettable night at the funhouse that left a lasting impact on her life. The encounter had shaken her to the core, causing her to withdraw into silence for a while. She hesitates, not wanting to revisit that place of fear and unease. But Gabe, with his persuasive charm, manages to convince her otherwise. Their car journey is filled with laughter and playful banter, with Zora taking a lighthearted jab at Jason's magic fire ring. Yet amidst their cheerful atmosphere, a sudden disruption grabs their attention. Paramedics rush past, carrying the lifeless body of an elderly man with a Jeremiah 11:11 placard. It's the same man from Addie's past. Finally arriving at the beach, the family is greeted by their friends, the Tylers, Josh, Kitty, and their twin daughters. As the adults settle down, talking among themselves, Jason goes to the bathroom all alone. However, while returning, he sees a man bearing an uncanny resemblance to the deceased stranger they had encountered. His hands were bloodied. Suddenly, Addie realizes that Jason is missing and frantically searches for him. Finally, she manages to find the little kid and heaves a sigh of relief. After that, the family swiftly returns home and Addie decides to just leave the place. At night, Addie recounts her eerie encounter with her doppelganger during her childhood to Gabe. However, Gabe, skeptical as ever, finds it difficult to believe her unsettling story. Just then, the lights abruptly go out, casting the room into darkness. Suddenly, Jason bursts into the room, urgently informing his parents about a family mysteriously positioned in their driveway. To check, they approach the window to witness a family of 4 standing in the chilling night. Their presence is both inexplicable and chilling. Even Zora, who emerges from her room, is intrigued by the strange sight. Addie, overwhelmed by fear, frantically dials the police. Meanwhile, Gabe takes it upon himself to confront the unknown family and politely asks them to leave their premises. To his astonishment, the family remains silent, motionless, like statues. Sensing danger, Gabe arms himself with a baseball bat and goes out again. Their slow advance toward him triggers an instinctive fight-or-flight response. Fearing for his safety, he retreats inside, locking the doors behind him. Despite their efforts to secure their house, the unknown family discovers a hidden key. As their doppelgangers emerge from the shadows, the realization dawns upon them. They are facing distorted mirrors of themselves. Helpless, they are coerced into sitting before their doppelgangers. Among the doubles, Pluto, Jason's doppelganger, exhibits an unsettling interest in fire. Zora's double, known as Umbre, possesses a sadistic nature, while Abraham assumes the role of Gabe's doppelganger. The leader of this macabre group is none other than Addie's double, Red. She stands apart, the only one capable of speech, her voice a guttural rasp. Soon, Red explains that they are shadow-like versions of them called the Tethered. These doppelgangers share a soul with their Wilson lookalikes and had spent their entire lives living in their shadows. Led by their leader Red, the Tethered yearned to break free from their entwined existence. Red, who was once known as Addie's shadow, shares a haunting tale about their intertwined past. In this story, Addie enjoyed a life of comfort, indulging in warm, delicious meals. But Red was left with nothing but raw, bloody rabbits to sustain herself. While Addie played with soft, cuddly toys, Red's playthings were sharp and icy to the touch. Addie found love in the arms of her caring prince, Gabe, while Red was bound to marry Abraham, a monster. Their paths diverged further when Addie gave birth to a loving daughter named Zora, while Red brought forth a sadistic monster named Umbre. To make matters worse, Addie had access to doctors who aided her during childbirth, while Red was left to endure the process alone. Over time, Red grew to despise Addie and her seemingly perfect existence. After sharing the story, she compels Addie to handcuff herself to the table. Meanwhile, Abraham forcibly drags Gabe away to another room, and Umbre gives chase to Zora through the desolate streets. Simultaneously, Pluto coerces Jason into engaging in a twisted game inside the closet. It is here that Jason catches his first glimpse of Pluto's scarred face. Meanwhile, Zora becomes the target of relentless pursuit by Umbre. As Umbre raises a pair of scissors, poised to strike her, a man intervenes. Zora seizes the opportunity to flee, leaving Umbre to ruthlessly stab the stranger to death. Elsewhere, Abraham violently strikes Gabe, rendering him unconscious. Seizing this opportunity, Abraham proceeds to encase Gabe in a garbage bag, intent on disposing of him in a boat. Thankfully, Gabe wakes up on time and makes use of the boat coming to a halt. He escapes from the bag and delivers a forceful blow to Abraham with the baseball bat, launching him into the water. However, as the boat abruptly resumes its course, Gabe falls into the water too. He resurfaces and clambers atop the boat just in time, but his respite is short-lived as Abraham launches a surprise attack from behind. Gabe pushes him into the water and finally manages to kill him. With newfound determination, Gabe steers the boat towards the Wilsons' house. Meanwhile, Jason discovers that Pluto eerily mimics his every move. He devises a clever distraction using his fire ring, successfully diverting Pluto's attention. Seizing the opportunity, Jason flees the room and swiftly locks Pluto inside. Red hears the commotion and goes to check, promptly freeing Addie from her confinement. Red, in her search, stumbles upon Addie's beloved stuffed toy. Without hesitation, she decapitates it. In the living room, Addie remains shackled to a table. To her relief, she spots a fireplace poker within reach and seizes it, using it to free herself. She locates Jason and together, they escape the house. They find Zora in the Wilson driveway. Now reunited, the trio makes their way toward Gabe's boat, which arrives at the perfect moment. Without wasting a second, they all climb aboard and make their getaway. Meanwhile, the Tyler family is at home, unaware of the horror that awaits them. The sudden noise catches Kitty's attention, and she urges Josh to investigate. Little do they know, their very own doppelgangers emerge and swiftly take their lives, leaving no chance for survival. Amid this chaos, the Wilsons arrive at the scene, hoping to find safety. Addie approaches Josh's double, seeking assistance. However, when he opens the door for her, she quickly realizes that something is terribly wrong. Reacting on instinct, she strikes the imposter with a fireplace poker. Unfortunately, her attack proves futile, and others from inside the house drag Addie away. Outside, Gabe and the children witness the approaching figure of imposter Josh. Realizing the danger, Gabe urges the kids to flee while he diverts Josh's attention. Instead of fleeing, the children try to find their mother inside the house. Zora grabs a golf club as a makeshift weapon. As they ascend the stairs, a scream echoes from upstairs, revealing Addie's torment. They rush to the source and come face to face with the lifeless bodies of the twins. Suddenly, one of the twins materializes before Zora. Reacting with courage, she strikes a powerful blow with the bat, sending the doppelganger hurtling over the railings. However, their respite is short-lived as the other twin launches an attack. In a fierce struggle, Zora manages to kill her too. Meanwhile, Kitty's doppelganger has trapped Addie, binding her to the bed. Outside, Gabe races to the boat with Josh hot on his heels. Determined to protect his family, Gabe fires a flare gun at Josh, delivering a fatal blow. From the window, Kitty witnesses Josh's death. But before she can catch her breath, Zora launches a surprise attack from behind. In a display of agility, Kitty evades the strike, narrowly escaping her. Kitty prepares to retaliate against Zora, poised to strike a blow with a pair of scissors. However, Jason intervenes, saving Zora from Kitty's attack. With a swift strike to the head, he incapacitates Kitty. The Wilsons gather in the living room, trying to make sense of the dire situation. The phone lines are jammed, preventing any communication with emergency services. While watching the news, they realize with growing horror that this nightmare is happening all over the place. According to the news reports, doppelgangers have emerged from the depths of sewers, armed with scissors. These doubles seem to possess no will of their own as they ruthlessly stab innocent people throughout the nation. They form massive chains after killing their counterparts. With the entire country under attack, Addie suggests escaping to Mexico, hoping to find safety there. The family wastes no time and quickly leaves the premises. But Addie realizes that the car keys are inside and goes to fetch them. To her horror, she discovers that doppelganger Kitty is still alive. Before she could react, Kitty attacks her, but she quickly discovers the scissors, using them to ruthlessly stab her, finally ending her terror. As they make their way towards the car, a dark figure materializes in front of them. It's Umbre. Zora, filled with determination, tries to strike Umbre with the car, but the doppelganger effortlessly leaps onto the vehicle. Thinking quickly, Zora slams the brakes, sending Umbre hurtling into a tree where she meets a grisly end, impaled on a sharp branch. Along their path, the family encounters the lifeless bodies of unfortunate victims everywhere. Their progress is abruptly halted by a burning car obstructing the road. To their dismay, the family realizes that the one responsible for this obstacle is none other than Jason's doppelganger, Pluto. With quick thinking, Addie decides to confront him while the rest of the family remains safely within the confines of their car. However, Jason soon realizes that Pluto's appearance is nothing more than a trap designed to light up their vehicle. He urges the others to evacuate the car. Just as Pluto prepares to strike the match, a realization dawns upon Jason. He remembers that the doppelgangers mimic their counterparts' movements. Immediately, he starts walking back towards the burning car. Mirroring his every step, Pluto follows suit. Slowly but surely, he reaches the blazing car, and in a final twist of fate, succumbs to the flames. Yet Red seizes the opportunity and kidnaps Jason. Addie immediately chases after her to bring her loving son back. As she gazes upon the shoreline, she witnesses a long chain of doppelgangers standing steadfastly along the beach. With determination, she decides to enter the source of all problems, the funhouse. She navigates the area and stumbles upon a door that leads somewhere downwards. Curiosity propels her to open, and to her surprise, a rabbit emerges from within. She finds herself in a hallway, filled with countless rooms on either side. The rabbits fill the entire place. She explores the rooms, and within one which resembles a classroom, she discovers Red. Upon the blackboard, there's a depiction of the doppelganger human chain. She immediately asks about her son. However, Red's response veers off course as she rambles about her past. She reveals that the Tethered, also known as the Shadows, are not naturally occurring beings, but rather artificially created entities devised by the government for their own twisted machinations. Their purpose? To exert control over the surface-dwelling originals, manipulating them. The project aimed to generate clones linked to their human counterparts through their souls. Yet these ambitious experiments faltered, resulting in the abandonment of the Tethered underground for countless generations. Forced into a life of mimicry, they subsist on a meager diet of rabbit meat, mindlessly imitating the actions of their counterparts. That night, fate had brought Red and Addie together. From the very beginning, it was evident that Red possessed something unique, something that set her apart from the others. And so, the others recognized her as the leader to seek vengeance and replace the humans. After Addie's encounter with Red, her parents decided to enroll her in a ballet dance class. Little did they know that this artistic pursuit would have an impact on Red as well. She mimicked her moves and danced along with her, and so their battle takes the form of ballet. In a frenzied pursuit, Red dashes through the twisting hallways, Addie hot on her heels, wielding her fireplace poker. Red lunges at Addie, armed with a pair of scissors. However, Addie's desperation leads her to strike first, impaling Red with the poker. With Red on the brink of death, she whistles the tune that Addie did when they first met. In a fit of madness, she ruthlessly strangles Red with her handcuffs, breaking her neck. Suddenly, she begins to act like the Tethered. Catching herself, she finds Jason cowering inside a locker. Together, they venture outside and reunite with the rest of the family. They escape in the ambulance. As Addie drives, we are transported back in time to the night she first encountered Red. When Addie finds herself face-to-face with her doppelganger Red, she is forcefully choked, which renders her unconscious. She is then dragged and handcuffed to the bed. Red assumes Addie's identity, donning her clothes and blending into her real life. Addie's unsuspecting parents unknowingly bring home Red, thinking she is their daughter. The reason behind Red's raspy and guttural voice is unveiled. Her own tethered double choked her, causing damage to her larynx. As time passes, Addie's shadow learns to communicate and evolves into a fully fledged person, capable of experiencing all the complexities of human existence. As Addie, or rather, Red, drives, Jason looks at her in suspicion. The movie ends with a miles-long human chain of doppelgangers,